Hello, welcome to the daily political tarot readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you so much for your patience today, as well as just being here. There was stuff in the house that had to be moved and up and down the stairs, and it was crazy. I apologize for how late I am. But I've got your 12 questions. I'm here 365 days of the year. I'm not usually this late. I apologize. I feel bad. I'm here 365 days of the year. 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to Feeding America over at feedingamerica.org. They supply food to food banks across the country. It's an ongoing thing. And I'm trying to think what else. We have Epic Troll Slayers who keep us safe. And if you're watching this on replay, hello. Their questions are all in the description box. They're already there. And I'm going to timestamp as I go along. Okay. And I'm going to jump right into things. Yes, Maxwell found guilty. Yes. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, everybody. So it was a one-time opportunity to get a mini fridge up and down a flight of stairs. So I couldn't say, wait. So anyway, okay. We're reading on that. By the way, there is I made a graphic on the community page, the Black and Orange channel community page, where I did a reading last night as soon as the verdict came out. 5 guilty on 5 out of the 6 charges. Thank you. And I was wondering, will men have to face stuff too? Whoo boy. So Linda Johnson says, what charge was Maxwell not found guilty of? I think it was enticing, and like it was like trying to get a minor to travel or something. It was not the she got nailed on the big charges. So I mean, that's what it looked like to me. So thank you guys. Anyway, I took a picture, I made a graphic, and I put that up on the community page and on Twitter and on the Facebook, Black and Orange Facebook page last night. And it was saying, oh boy, are there ever some very powerful men who are really worried right now. And it's not just about Maxwell, because this opens the door for other women to feel safe enough to come forward. You take advantage of children, guess what? Children grow up. And they hire lawyers. And I'm always curious why the Maxwell victims, we can call them that now, just straight up. Yes, Lisa, 40 years at least. Yes. Oh, thank you, Citrino. So, and thank you, Mel Broussard. So, we're going to be looking at all that kind of stuff. But first, before we get into all of that, because I've got multiple questions on that. Anybody seen Ron DeSantis anywhere? Ron? Where are you, Ron? Nobody's seen him for 2 weeks. Yesterday, he put out he put something out on social media that was some kind of official something he'd done. Turns out that was 3 weeks ago. And he was trying to pass it off as having just happened. So just now, I've got to get my mom gave me this mug. So anyway. So just now, his office just released that he's on vacation Really? Really? So Jeanette is saying if he has COVID, I hope he's staying away from his wife. She's being treated for cancer. Oh, bless her. Bless everyone fighting cancer. Divine Spirit, fill them with the highest vibration of divine energy for health, happiness, peace. Bless. But anyway, it's just like, okay, well, maybe did something, heaven forbid, did something happen to his wife and he's grieving? No, they did say. No reason they wouldn't say that. He went on vacation, huh? So we're going to have a look-see. Danielle Stimson is saying, an unannounced clandestine vacation. Yes. Jeff Sitzman is saying, ain't no vacation like a COVID vacation. Gene A says, is you wish John Hannity. Lisa Bennett is saying, do Ron run, do Ron run. I love you guys. All right, DeSantis. Jeff DeSantis, how's it going? Ron DeSantis. Trying to see if I can find his energy. Black Cat, Blue Chair saying, I've joined your daily hot chocolate ritual. Good stuff. Oh, good. Decisions. Really? He said everything needs to stay open. Really? Page of Cups. Death card. Magician. Temperance. Fool. He's sick. After putting so many vulnerable people at risk. I alone can fix it. We don't have to listen to mandates. The fool's being tempered. Well, temperance has descended upon the fool. I don't know if he's actually being tempered, if he's going to learn anything. But entertainment only for those who don't believe in the collective energy. For those who do believe in the collective energy, you know that this is never 100% accurate. But consensus among readers is usually pretty close. Not always, but usually. So, Carolyn Carpenter says he's testing his scientific knowledge. That must be it. Ron DeSantis. Well, he's got access to all kinds of really good healthcare, unlike a lot of the people he's just left out to die. I'd say left out to dry, but left out to die. Black Cat Blue Chair saying, yeah, he's sick in more ways than one. Yes. Oh, it's snowing where Pegasus is. She said the overlay matches the scene through my window. Oh, wow, dumping on us. Wow. Ace of Pentacles. I don't know if somebody's done this already, but I just heard in my head the Republican disease. Ace of Swords, Chariot, Queen of Cups, Four of Swords, and the Star. I just assumed, he'd get sick, he'd say, I'm fine, or he just doesn't feel well for a couple of days, and then that would be that. Is he? He's vaccinated, isn't he? He's one of those do as I say, not as I do. This looks like he's really sick. I mean, there's some hope there, but this is... This is needing health care. This is a rush to get health care. For what it's worth, I'm getting, yeah, he's got it, and messes with your lungs, all the stuff in your lungs. Omicron is apparently more up here, but Delta and the other variants, they're in your lungs. See, Torino says, I think he might be in the hospital. These cards are not good. These cards are, yes, hospital, sick. Yeah. Excuse me. But he'll be able to get hold of, he'll be able to get the the something clonal antibodies. I can't remember the name of it. Sorry. Monoclonal. Monoclonal antibodies? Monoclonal antibodies, I think. Al Menzi saying that the monoclonal antibodies don't work with Omicron. Oh, really? Linda Johnson says he has young children that may not have been vaccinated. Oh, dear. Don Gubb is suggesting mono. Oh, monoclonal. Thank you. I was going to say mono. Oh, I had mono 3 times when I was a teenager. Oh my gosh, I was so sick. And after I'm done reading here, I'll tell you my sweetest memories of my mother. She's still alive, but I'm saying sweetest memories of my mother, but I'll tell you that in a minute. Queen of Swords. Seven of Swords, Knight of Wands, Nine of Swords. Somebody's sick. Somebody is very sick. I hope it's not one of his kids. My gosh, I hope it isn't. He's on vacation. 2 weeks. He disappeared. I have not, Betty Harper, I've not had cat scratch disease. Is that a thing? Is cat scratch fever? I think it's a song. I don't know. I'm sorry. Monoclonal. Thank you. Knight of Wands. He's supposed to be the fighting for the far right. Is he sick or is one of his kids sick? Oh, thank you, Grandma Rose. The explanation of polyclonal antibodies and monoclonal antibodies. Thank you. Is DeSantis sick or is one of his kids sick? Please do not be. I don't want it to be my kids. I don't want anybody to be sick, but actually, I don't even want him to be sick. Honestly, that's the truth. I don't want him to be sick, but he's He's done so much damage, and there are people who've died because of him. Polly one says, I'm sick of him. That's there. Is it you? Are you sick, or is it? And in 2 weeks, nobody noticed? I guess is it like the mayor of Orlando, or I forget, but somebody has been like, excuse me. Oh, he's on vacation. It's vacation, I tell you. That isn't the card of vacation. That's a big fake, everything's fine, happy family. He's going to keep lying about it very, very strongly. Oh, he's here, he's there, like in 9 to 5, where they were trying to run interference on where their boss really was. Because he's the man of putting out these far-right ideas. So he'll just keep dripping out, oh, I'm on vacation. Oh, here's a Photoshop picture of me on the beach. Hippie Sue has drinks again. Thanks a bunch. Coffee, tea, hot chocolate, broth, specialty drink on me. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lynn Halliday says, I love that movie. Oh yeah, 9 to 5 was a classic. Hello, Linda. Yeah. And Dolly Parton is a national treasure. Is there a sweeter human being? Not sure. Sherry H., we were reading on DeSantis, who hasn't been seen in a couple of weeks. And his office is trying to say, oh, he's on vacation. But first they lied about it. I need to turn this down just a little bit. It gets to the point where everything's whited out. So there's snow outside on the roofs and everything, and it's reflecting in. I don't even have the lights on that I normally have on. So, okay, let me tell you this quickly before I get to the next question. I had mono 3 times when I was a teenager. I was so sick. I missed so much school. I had to have somebody come and tutor me. I was sleeping 20 hours a day. They did so many tests on me that I had just black and blue just all over my arms. So I went in and I was sitting there, and they were doing more blood tests, and they got to the point where they just couldn't get any more. And the nurse said, oh, well, I can't get any more out of your arms. So we're going to take it out of your hands. And I just said, no, no, you're not. And she's like, and she's like, fine. It's just, she called my mother in. And she said to my mother, we can't get to. And my mother, she listened to the nurse, and then she looked at me and she said, honey, yes. She said, they can't get any more blood out of your arms to run the tests. I said, yes. Yes. They want to take blood out of your hand instead. I said, she said, is that okay? I said, no. And my mother looked at the nurse and said, well, I guess you're going to have to use what you've got. Come on, honey, let's go. And she got me out of there. She was my hero. The number of times she's been my hero in my life, I can't even tell you. But I was so worn down and tired and just at the end of my rope. In fact, I ended up in the hospital before Christmas, for 3 days before Christmas, back in the mid-'80s. Yeah. Got out Christmas Eve, and there are photographs of me where we opened presents when I got home that evening on Christmas Eve instead of waiting till the morning. Just kind of a cheer me up kind of thing. But I couldn't handle the flash. So all the pictures of me, I'm kind of going like this. Like, I just couldn't handle the bright light. But she was, yeah, memories of Echo, super mom to the rescue. Sherry H, bravo mom. DDN, love your mom. Yes, she's great. She was my hero. In my darkest times. Yes, Desert Dawn, what an amazing mom. In my darkest times, she's been there. So, all right, let's go on to, okay. This was it. Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings says that all Florida residents should be outraged and ask, where is our state? Where is our governor? Where is Ron DeSantis now? Just in, Christina Pushaw, DeSantis' press secretary, has confirmed that Ron DeSantis is currently on vacation while COVID cases are surging and testing is nowhere to be found. He's nowhere to be found. Vacation, huh? Mm-hmm. Anyway, moving on to Catherine Kusi. Is it Kusi? Catherine Kusi was asking at 21:30, will DeSantis lose his re-election in 2022? I didn't realize he was up for election next year. For DeSantis, are you going to win a re-election in 2022? Oh, Lynn, I understand what you're saying, but that's a very depressing thing to say. I know. I'm aware every day that my time with my parents is finite. Believe me, there's not a day that goes by I don't think about it. Frida Smet, why couldn't they get it out of my arms? Because I had so many blood tests for so long that it was just black and blue. And anyway. Oh, Lynn, I'm so sorry. Just lost my mom and dad. Bless. Lynn Halliday, bless. Bless you. Divine energy. Brighten Lynn's life. Brighten her heart. Divine Spirit. Bless Lynn Halliday. And her family. And those who have crossed over. Bless. Okay. 20. She's more like 24. Okay. DeSantis. Are you going to be reelected in 2022? DeSantis. That's a whole lot of cups. It can be evidence or it can be Democratic votes. Pam C. Aches? Sorry. Jerry Demings is married to Congresswoman Val Demings. Oh, cool. 4 of Florida, the vacation spot. Knight of Swords, 9 of Cups, 2 of Cups, Knight of Cups. Massive healthcare problems. People sick of the sickness. He tried to. He was aggressively using the far right garbage nonsense of herd immunity or whatever else. But this is. I'm not even sure this is a Democrat winning. This is just a Knight of Cups and Knight of Medicine trying to help people. Great idea. I know. Let's come up with a policy that will kill off our own voters. What could go wrong? Cakes. Sorry, Pam. Black Cat Blue Chair saying, I'm getting he'll have some serious competition. I could run a Labrador Retriever against him, and I think the lab would win. But there are still, you got to think about the villages and how many retirees there are and how far to the right too many of them are. Not all, but Florida. It's like where the 80s Reaganites went. They kind of seems like a lot of them went to Florida. Not all, but a lot of them. Okay. Hanged Man. Ace of Wands. Moon. 8 of Pentacles. Strength. Ron DeSantis. Knight of Wands. He's going to be running the same playbook. Far right. Even though it's caused all kinds of grief and pain. And people are getting sick of it. The grief and the pain and the alternatives are starting to, these are major arcana, these are minor arcana. So imagine these 2 cards like twice as big. So he's working for the this Republican agenda, but sorry. People are getting really fed up. Losing friends, losing relatives. Polly Wanda, who's been quiet lately? 2 weeks. DeSantis has not been seen. And he lied, his office lied about, or he lied about where he was, or somebody lied for him about where he was on social media. And then after Val Demings' husband said, where's Ron DeSantis? His office just came out this morning saying, oh, he's on vacation. All right, last cards on Ron DeSantis, because we're going into a really icky. Oh, Lynn, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. DeSantis. Ace of Wands. Okay, this could be a couple of things. So I will just say this. Polywanda, I agree with you. Because of his policies, his cruel, selfish, self-centered policies that left people to die, he may have some legal problems, but some big change is coming to his life. The other possibility is he's really not well. But, you know, and who knows, maybe he'll get a bad case of long COVID. I mean, that would be horrible. And seriously, I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish it on him. I don't wish it on Trump. I don't want people to suffer. I just want there to be justice. Anyway, that's me. Okay. Well, from the, like, we've gone, you know how if you go out, if you look at you got into the water, an ocean, and you got the beach, and then it kind of where the water starts, it kind of goes down a little bit, and then it goes out for a ways, and then in some places you get out to a certain point, and then it just drops. It gets really deep. This is what we're doing. That was Ron DeSantis. We got our feet wet. We're going along. It's time to look at the Maxwell stuff and the men who may be facing some comeuppance. So, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got 3 questions here that are related to this. So, 33. Okay. Will Prince Andrew scramble to save himself? Will it work? Him trying to scramble to save himself. Kristen from Uncovering the News, thank you for your headlines. Thank you. Brought in the headline that Prince Andrew's lawyers hold emergency talks in the wake of Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction. So, Prince Andrew, afraid there might be, I don't know, some reality coming out. Oh, Betty Harper, thank you for your post last night. Oh, I'm glad I was able to help. Yeah, for those who weren't here earlier, I did mention on the community page and on Twitter, I did a reading on this, just not on Prince Andrew, but just on, are there going to be more men? And I made a little graphic of the reading, and I put it up on the community page, Black and Orange community page here on YouTube, and on Twitter, and on the Facebook page for Black and Orange. So, Prince Andrew. Andy, didn't they call him that? Ugh. Prince Andrew. For what it's worth, it feels like, if I sincerely hope not, if something happened to the Queen today, Charles would boot Andrew out into exile. Boom. Prince Andrew. So, emergency. What was it? Emergency talks? Yes, emergency talks. Prince Andrew's lawyers hold emergency talks in the wake of Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction. Also, the Epstein settlement with Giuffre to be made public, which may affect Prince Andrew's case. Insult to injury. Oh, you thought you could get away with this forever. Just take your high-powered lawyers and muddy the waters. And 3 of Swords, Queen of Cups, World, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, here's the thing. This is the dynasty. And in this case, literally, it's the royal family. This is all the legal damage being done because of a woman who was abused. Now, who abused her? I believe her, but your mileage may vary. We'll see. This is the dynasty. This is the world. So outside of the UK. This communication about wands. This right here is not only a woman coming into her own power, but it's the world right in the center. And in 3, 5, and 7 card spreads, it's this card in the middle that has the most power. And this right here, the world card is the card of end of chapter, end of book, end of this phase in your life, the way you've been doing things. It's over, done, past. More stuff's coming out. Oh, it's not going to look good for him. And he and his lawyers have been bad-mouthing her for you can be a lawyer to try and get a heinous criminal a fair trial. There is not only is there no shame in that, I think that is perfectly valid. Trying to get a fair trial. But your client has been accused of doing what he is accused of having done to young girls, teenage girls, and you're attacking her. That's not a fair trial. And you should be ashamed. So, Prince Andrew, what's going to happen to you? Don Gubb says, Andrew's trying to say the woman hasn't lived in the correct place to file suit. Good grief. Oh, that was sweet. Wait. It disappeared. Linda Sandoval saying, I love that you've always called her Ghoulaine. You rock. Thank you. She's awful. Rhonda Cox isn't feeling sick now. I know. These few readings I'm doing here, they might be a little bit much. Really, ugh. But we'll get through them. And then we'll go on to a question about Trump and some other stuff. So, it is a young girl. I imagine most of you have seen the movie Labyrinth. It was with Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie back in the day, with the Bog of Eternal Stench and all this kind of stuff. And there's a scene in that movie where he's trying to get her to stop trying to save her baby brother. He kidnapped her baby brother. And so he creates this bubble And in the bubble, it's a ballroom. And there are all these people dancing, and then she's in this beautiful ball gown, and he's dancing with her, and there's this great song that he's singing, and this whole thing, and it goes on. And now, when I saw this when I was, I don't know, 12, during that scene, I was just like, oh, isn't it romantic? And then later on, it was like, oh, well, I guess she's not going to be with him. But that was so romantic. And as an adult, looking back on that scene where you have this man in his, however old he was, and you have this girl who's supposed to be about 15, I'm just like, back up, buddy. As an adult, you take that codpiece thing, you back up. Space. Get your hands off her. Get your hands off her. Lisa Bennett saying, I hung beads in my bedroom just like that scene when I was in high school. Oh, cool. Well, it was very pretty. But this whole, where these people are trying to say, oh, well, legal age is 17 here. Legal age is 16 there. Legal age is 18 here. How sick are you that that's your defense? No Name here says, same here. Labyrinth used to be a fave until I saw it through adult eyes. Yeah, Lisa Carolyn, back up, buddy. Get your hands off her. Yeah. Prince Andrew, man of money. Although he seems to be in some, there's talk he might be in some financial difficulty. Take your money into exile. Prince Andrew going on a vacation. Oh, wow. There's nothing for him. There's nothing left for him in the UK. There is nowhere, or there is going to be nowhere he's welcome. But, huh. Take some money to go away and stay there. So the question, Snarky Sassy Pants is saying Prince Andrew running with his money. No, it doesn't feel like running. It feels like more like exile, like get out. Here's a settlement. Here's some money. Get out. Get out of the country. Get out of the UK. Go live somewhere else. Very Edward VI. Queen Elizabeth's uncle, who gave up the throne for, what's her name? I know these people's names. They're not nice people. They really weren't. Toximom says, wow, I just flashed on DeSantis' name in Epi's little black book when you said the word vacation. Mandy says, Mom is not least. Oh, yes. Electra Storm says, the sad part is women his own age wanted him, but he didn't want them. See Torino suggesting go hide on a mountaintop in Switzerland. Edward the... Jeanette says, oh, he was Edward the Eighth? Really? Cool. Victory. Queen of Wands. Six of Pentacles. He's going to try to pay, Giuffre, he's going to try to pay her off. He's going to try to pay her off, and I don't think it's going to work. I don't think she wants just the money. She wants... Colleen France says, we don't want Andrew in France. Sorry, this will take me so long. I'm trying to get a better idea of what's going to happen to Andrew here. Six. Leaving. Exile. Could be going to trial in New York, but this is going. Empress. Seven of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. Fruits of labor. He thinks I've got high-powered lawyers. I've got all of this, but it's an Empress card. That is very strong, and this is women celebrating. So 47. Let's have a look at question I'm wondering too, and I think a lot of us are. Will Maxwell start singing on Prince Andrew and others to get a lighter sentence? I think she's going to go through appeals first, is what I was getting. I was getting that Maxwell's going to go through appeals, and then when that doesn't work, then it's going to be like, oh. But some people are saying where she's going, the jail where she's been held is so awful that apparently where she's actually going to prison is actually going to be much nicer by comparison or something. It's like, I don't think that would be good enough for her. Jeanette says an exile would have to be somewhere that doesn't have an extradition treaty with the U.S. True. Mandy of Merrimack says, does his royalness protect him? Well, it's already protecting him in the sense of high-powered lawyers and access, basically. But apparently he's been having... some money problems, too. Catherine Chittick is pointing out that Ghoulaine has 2 perjury cases coming up, too. But will Maxwell start singing, start turning on these men to get herself lighter sentence? Possibility of being a free woman at some point in her life. Will Maxwell start turning on these men? And will the victims feel better about coming forward? Well, that's specific about Maxwell here, but the victims, they should be able to come forward and say, these are the men I recognize, these are the men, this happened to me. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, this is a big change. Those who have been raised up will be brought down. Those who were crushed underneath, like the victims, will be raised up. The wheel is turning in a big way. Thank you, Tiffany Lilly. Linda Johnson says, would Andrew use diplomatic immunity? Only if the Queen grants it. I don't know that. I mean, if you've got the Queen has limited power, and I don't know if Prince Andrew is like best buds with Boris or whatever. Renier is saying fear of becoming like Epstein will stop her from talking. She's going to keep her mouth shut about a lot of things. That's the thing, though. As long as she's there, she can talk if she changes her mind. If she has evidence and she turns it over, taking her out won't do anything. Yes, she wants better conditions. She wants to get out. She wants lighter sentences. This is evidence. This is a massive burden. This is all the stories of all of the wands. Evidence laid out about all of the wands. Huge burden brought to light, but also that's a child. And this is the victims, the young women. Wait till she gets through. Let me see. Is she gonna wait until it goes through appeals? Because she's going to appeal. I mean, M. Kelpie says she faces so many years. Telling the truth would make her a target upon release. She is going to be a convicted sex offender. She's already got a target if she ever sees the light of day. Maybe she'll go hang out on the mountaintop with Prince Andrew in Switzerland. I assume this is going to be after your appeal doesn't work, is my guess. Oh, card just jumped out. Like, whoa. So far, a lot of these men, oh, me, no, nothing, I don't know anything, blah, 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 blah. Page of Wands, Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles. It's also how much is she getting, what's her monetary situation? How much money is flowing into her account at the prison? You know, because she'll get the bulk. She'll get that. She can, buy whatever she wants at I forget what it's called, not the commissary, the whatever it's called, in prison. But whatever money is left in your account, you get when you get out. How much money? Because if there's no money, sword of truth. This is a messenger, and this is a sword of truth. Do not think you cannot think of this woman as a regular person. You can't think of, oh, she's been caught. She's been sentenced at some point here. She's going to be like, oh no, I should come clean, or I should, talk to get something better for myself. And it feels more like there's more money involved in that. She's awful. Yes, Michael Grant. She's a pimp. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Memories of Echo says her husband has the money right now. I wonder if he'll head for the hills. Yeah, he's not going to be able to keep that money. He is going to be sued like M. Kelpie says there's so many involved, they could all have to find a safe place. Saudi doesn't have an extradition treaty with the U.S. Yeah, but it's hard to pay off Saudis. they pretty much print money. DDN says she just turned 60. I can't imagine she'll ever get out. Barbara McCampson says, I remember watching Fergie on a talk show back when she divorced him, and now we know why. Yeah, why they're so close, but she has no interest in actually getting back with him. Yeah. Snarky Sassy Pants says, you don't know how much jewels or cash she has hidden. Her husband is a smoke and mirror. Yeah. Oh, he has a new love? I didn't know that. Betty Harper is saying 17 million is what she officially has. Oh, I thought it was 20. Thank you for the better information. Whew, boy. All right. 56. Will Ghislaine turn info in on Trump? My eyes are dry. Need to refill my humidifier at some point here. All right. Will Ghislaine there we go. Suddenly got a bit darker. Is this too much? I wish this thing would do it automatically, but it just doesn't. I'll leave it like that. 57. All right. Will Ghislaine turn in info on Trump? Thank you, Don Gov. Thank you. So, Ghislaine. Oh, she's mad. Oh, she's mad. Panicked. She's angry and panicked. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to turn in info on Trump. Oh, and just the thought of all of them outliving their lives, walking around while she's in prison. Oh, her narcissism. She cannot abide by that. Michael Grant says Princey Andri has a diplomatic status. They can't prosecute the royal. Shame. That can be revoked. And Charles and his brother, Andrew is the Queen's favorite. Don't ask me why. But then again, compared to whom? But anyway, but apparently Charles is not happy. Not happy with Andrew at all. All right. So, Ghoul. Turn in anything on Trump. Trump's tiny hands. Going up the river. Evidence. They're people handing over evidence. I don't think it's going to start with her, though. She better hurry. I think victims are going to start speaking up more. They're not stupid. They recognize people. They heard people's names. She better hurry. Because if the victims are all coming forward and willing to testify, and then she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I have some evidence or names to give you. Better be good evidence. Because that's evidence. She's going to prison. It's a given. It's a given. Absolute given. This doesn't even feel like it. It's like the sky's blue. Okay, moving on. Victims. All right. But are you going to give any evidence on... Do you have any evidence? Are you going to give any evidence on Tiny Hands Mini Mushroom? Four Swords. She may not have really good evidence against Trump. He was a president, sitting pretty... I don't think she's got good evidence against him. It's just what this is saying. He's going to have his own problems. Trust me on that. But I'm not getting that she has something she can really hand over about him. I'm not saying he didn't do anything. I'm saying what I just said twice. All right, at 101 and a bit. I thought I put in that started at like 4 minutes. Okay. So this goes down to... will Ghislaine turn in info on Trump? It comes from a news headline from Kristen with Uncover the News. Ex-President Donald Trump considered issuing a pardon to Jeffrey Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, shortly before leaving office, a new book has claimed. I wish she had really good evidence. I'm just not seeing it. Could she name him? Name him. Nothing would stop her, but if she's going after Trump, she better come with a video. So at 102:30, I don't like what they want to do to me with the evidence, so I don't want them to have it news. Trump is whining that nothing should be handed over because the January 6th Select Committee, is thinking about a criminal probe. So I don't like what they want to do to me with evidence, so I don't want them to have it news. Trump is whining that nothing should be handed over because the January 6th Select Committee is thinking about a criminal probe. Will he find sympathy in this right-leaning Supreme Court? Kristen's headline was that Trump submits Washington Post article to the Supreme Court as proof that the January 6th probe is a witch hunt. No. He's got a big old... No, it's not going to work. Let's see. Lee Rieger is saying maybe Epps hid all the videos away in a vault. I would hope so, but... Okay. I'm just getting no... This argument, they want to bring criminal charges. They've said they want to bring criminal charges against me, or that they're considering it. Therefore, they shouldn't have this information that they could potentially use to bring criminal charges against me. What? No. No. Justice. Justice card. Cat Shepard says he shouldn't flatter himself. No coven would have him. That's true. Son. That'd whip up binding spell on that guy so fast. Oh, he does have some allies on that court, though. January 6th Select Committee, though, they were just doing their job. And what happened was so heinous And the committee wants to know if he was involved in the militias, the white supremacist plans that were more organized. There are some Trumpian horrible people, as I'm shuffling. DLC says, I get a feeling Thomas and Alito will vote in Trump's favor, but the rest will not. Right. Kathy's Guiding Light Tarot. They want to charge me for my criminal acts, so they shouldn't be allowed the evidence. Silly Trump logic. Seriously, yes. I'm getting a mental image of, just like you guys, a toddler stamping his foot. Have you guys seen the GIF where somebody took, it was Trump and Melania and some other people, and they were walking into a restaurant or something, and they like shrunk Trump down to the size of a child, and they were going into a Chuck E. Cheese's. It's like, wow, that's surprisingly believable. Oh no, they have evidence against me. The consequences of my actions are coming to get me. 2 of Cups, 9 of Cups, Moon, 6 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. How dare they want to send me to prison for a seditious insurrection? Getting more information to lay it all out to prove that I was a part of. Come Republicans, I make lots of money. Protect me. So is the Supreme Court going to stop the committee from getting information? Is the Supreme Court going to side with Trump? Is the Supreme Court going to side with Trump? I would. I would. It feels like if the Supreme Court did that, they should up the security on that building. I can, and don't do this. Don't try to set fire to a building. That's stupid and dangerous. Don't do it. But it feels. It almost feels like that great big stone building. It's like our cement building or whatever it's made of. It's like, you guys may not want to mess with this. That's a whole lot of information, okay? And there's a piece of it that, there's a very important piece in there, fruits of labor, 9 of Wands. Okay, I'm getting there's some evidence in there that could get him into a lot of trouble. I'm not getting anything about the Supreme Court. Supreme Court. Last try. Anything about the Supreme Court? Oh, Linda, I hope you have a great day. Kavanaugh. They bought and sold Kavanaugh. That's what I get. I get it all the time. They paid off a lot of his debts, and he is bought and paid for, which will be looked at eventually. I like beer and gambling, I think, from what I hear. Page of Swords, Strength, Hanged Man, King of Swords, Ace of Cups. He doesn't have much of a leg to stand on. There's strength in the committee's position, but that doesn't necessarily translate directly to the Supreme Court. That is a prosecutor. This is a whole lot of push of democratic power, but this hanged man in the center could have a couple of different meanings. They've got a. It feels. This is feeling like it's pushing back a little bit against. It's pushing back against something. I'm not getting a clear-cut answer on the Supreme Court. I'm just not. Oh, Holly Coleman, have a wonderful nap. Ten of Cups. They bought and sold Kavanaugh is what I'm getting. Entertainment only, or, you know, they bought him. Ultimately, it's going to work. Even if something is limited by them, the committee's going to be fine. They're going to get all kinds of information. But I'm not getting a clear answer on this. And I'm not sure why. I guess we'll find out. But the committee's going to get information. They've got plenty of information. They're going to get plenty of information. Don't you worry your pretty head. 1/12/30. Oops, 1/13. Oh boy. There, that should be better. All right. I get entertained when they fight. When they start fighting amongst themselves, pointing fingers, it's just like, really? Wait, hang on. I got to get some popcorn. I'll be right back. Just hold that thought. The children are fighting in their playpen again. Kristen came with the headline, Steve Bannon confronts Mike Lindell over Trump-appointed judges ruling against him. Mike, why would it have anything to do with Mike Lindell? If Trump-appointed judges are ruling against Steve Bannon, is Bannon's dig at Lindell proof that the far right is fracturing even further? I don't know if the way that headline is set up, Trump-appointed judges are ruling against somebody. I don't know if it's Bannon or Mike Lindell. I imagine they're ruling against Lindell and Steve Bannon is saying give it up, or I don't know exactly what's going on there. But the question is Bannon's dig at Lindell proof that the far right is fracturing? Okay, that I can read on. I don't know, Electrostorm. We'll have to look at that one of these days. I don't think that's quite her thing, but Susan Ailes is saying, where is Boo Boo Kitty today? He is sleeping on my bed underneath the blankets, all curled up. Okay. Bannon's dig at Lindell proves that the far right is fracturing even further. Because they're all such level-headed people. King of Pentacles. Bannon's all about his podcast, making money in his podcast. The War Room. Stupid name. Was Bannon ever in the military? Does anybody know? Three of Pentacles, Magician, Devil. Well, corruption is at the center of it. Tower. Oh, it's coming down. Ooh, boy. The corruption is coming down. Emperor, all of this. This is Bannon wanting the attention, wanting the money. This is plans trying to get power. Lindell, all of them trying to get power, money. All of this stuff is coming down. So yeah, their arguments with each other feel very fighting over it's not even rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's like fighting over a deck chair on the Titanic. Thank you, Allison. Alicia Marie saying, not Bannon too much of a coward. No, Wildheart saying in the 70s and 80s he was in the Navy. Okay. Wildheart saying 7 years in the Navy. Okay. So yeah, the whole thing's going down. And they're fighting over deck chairs on the Titanic. All right, 1:17:30. All right, Kristen had a question. What will the first 3 months of 2022 look like? Okay, I'll do 9 cards. 3, 3, and 3. January, February, March 2022. 3, 3, and 3. January, February 2022, March 2022, first 3 months of 2022. Strength. Okay, we're slowly putting things back together. Things are slowly getting better. All right, for January 2022. Judgment, Wheel of Fortune, 10 of Cups. That's a thing of beauty. Those who are low will be raised high. Those who are high will be lowered. Big shifts. Big judgment coming. And we will be looking at more and more of the big picture of what's really been going on and things being brought to light. I like it. February 2022. Five of Wands, 8 of Wands, 10 of Swords in February. These guys turning against each other. Legally, all these swords going in people's metaphorical legal backs over January 6th stuff. So I'm really getting political things, which is not surprising. It's a political tarot channel. But March 2022, 6 of Cups, Moon, Chariot. I keep getting March for when this, I could be wrong, but I keep getting March for like don't know if it's like the January 6th Select Committee has their walkthrough of what happened, their hearings to walk through what happened on January 6th, or what it is. But for March, I keep getting a chariot, I keep getting the moon. This is big. This is Democrats carefully like explaining in a calm, reasonable way, but explaining piece by piece about the craziness. And this is, there are these criminal referrals. I thought that they were going to do it sooner than March, but the cards keep saying something like that happening in March. Or maybe that's when the criminal referrals from the DOJ come down. Something like that. There's something big coming in March with the Select Committee or something. Black Hat Blue Chair says, scary, but I keep getting that the insurrectionists are going to try again. Hope I'm wrong. Well, let me have a quick look. 120, 130. Insurrectionists. Try again. I just misspelled that, but I'm typing quickly in these mails, so looking in the description box. Be gentle. Will the insurrectionists try again? The insurrectionists try again. They did try in the past. Insurrectionists try again. Five of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Two of Wands, Page of Pentacles, King of Cups. They'll talk a good game, but they don't have the resources, the people in the positions of power they would need. And there's Biden sitting in the Oval Office. He's putting in place things that make security for Capitol Hill even stronger. But they'll keep, flapping their gums. So for what it's worth, that's what I'm getting. But nobody who does this is 100% correct. It's not like, I know all. No, I don't know all. I would love to know all. Now, then again, no, I wouldn't. I'd go crazy because I'd be very, very upset. But Rosalind Reed says, I'm getting a no on my pendulum auto, too. Okay. Well, hopefully we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And I believe ultimately we are going to be okay, and we're not going to lose our democracy. It's just going to be ugly for a while. Pluto's digging up all the worst gunk, just bringing it all up to the surface so we can bring it to the light of day, get rid of junk, see what's really happening, not letting things fester in the background anymore. Pluto is nothing to sneeze at. It might be a little tiny thing, but dear great Gussie, it's potent. So anyway, 1:24:30. Alicia Marie had a question. Thank you. Oh, right. Are the new quarantine rules for COVID a result of corporate influence? I mean, is it the lack of quarantine rules? Basically, is who's really in charge here? Is it CDC guidelines, real guidelines, or is it political pressure from companies or rich people, or quarantine rules have been changed? Lecter Storm says, I still don't care for Pluto, though. Oh, it's not about whether you like Pluto, because King of Pentacles. Oh, that would be business. World, it's a pandemic. Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, King of Swords, King of Wands. Yes and no. It's a pandemic. There needs to be some quarantining. The far right is fighting, but there are also a lot more people getting vaccinated. So there's some influence, but it's not overriding good medical advice. That's what I'm getting. Not completely. That's what I'm getting. Oh boy. Okay, so at 1:26:30, Gretchen had a question. And that was, what did Putin want to talk to Biden about today? Was it Biden who initiated, did Putin initiate the call? Does anybody know? I just heard they were going to talk. I don't know who initiated. And considering Putin said, yes, we're withdrawing 10,000 troops from the border with Ukraine, and all he did was, apparently they saw it by satellite, that all he did was rearrange the troops that were there and add some more. I think that's why they're talking. But Putin wanted to talk to, oh boy. So, serial killer Putin. I get that man has tortured people. Literally. That's what I get. I mean, it's Putin wanted to talk to Biden today, huh? Biden has not tortured anybody. I think that's fool. That Putin. He still thinks he can do whatever he wants. Communication. World communication. This is the card of communication. Dang. Magician. Okay, Putin wants to act unilaterally. 4 of Wands, 2 of Swords, 5 of Cups. We can do what we want. I want Ukraine. Putin's nudging Biden toward having to respond. Getting NATO to, is NATO really going to, are we really going to go to war with Russia to save Ukraine? That's what Putin's pushing. I got, what is it, reading yesterday, day before, that the oligarchs are with Putin are just like, dude, stop. We've got access to the coast or the water. That's what we wanted. We've got it. Stop. Because I believe it was Kamala Harris came out and said, if they invade Ukraine, they're going to see sanctions like they have never seen sanctions before. And the oligarchs feel like they're going to Putin saying, no. And when you already have several $1 billion from corrupt businesses in Russia, if you're an oligarch, the promise of another $1 billion from stuff in Ukraine, Why? Gina, I've been getting Putin is getting some heat from the oligarchs, but he's got them by the nose. So I'm getting some tension there. Putin just wants to push NATO's buttons. And you cannot trust a word that comes out of his mouth. Forget it. I think that's a given, but seriously, don't, not a word. If he says water is wet, assume that it's all flash frozen and there's not a drop in the world. Page of Cups. He thinks the West is weak. You just talk. Two of Wands, Ace of Swords, Six of Pentacles. Saber rattling, communication, world communication, saber rattling. Well, if you try to raise sanctions. Well, we haven't invaded, so if we don't invade, are you going to lift sanctions? He's trying to call Biden's bluff, one way or the other. So. Okay, I need to get out of that energy. He is disgusting. Seriously, I've read on serial killers that weren't as disgusting as Vladimir Putin. $132 and a bit. $132.30. Madison Cawthorne's soon-to-be ex-wife, Electra Storm was asking. Electra Storm was wondering if Madison Cawthorne's soon-to-be ex-wife was some kind of Russian spy, using him as a propaganda tool against the U.S. government. The soon-to-be ex-Mrs. Cawthorne. I used to know her name. Hang on just 1 second. I've got a big clump of lipstick on my lip. Got it. Sorry about that. Former Mrs. Cawthorne, are you Russian agent? Page of Swords. Traditionally, that's the card for the reading, so that is a card for the spy, so we're in the right energy as far as the topic. Five of Swords, Knight of Wands, Six of Swords. It's Russ and Reese, he got married about 8 months ago, and he's getting divorced already. They're getting divorced because he's so busy, and he's obnoxious, and he's fighting for the far right. It's just over the top. He's traveling a lot. All of the attention he's getting is turning his head. He's a very petty, small man inside. And this is just, their fights were getting belligerent, really, really nasty. And so they're getting a divorce. That's a legal separation, it's legal leaving. I don't get spy. I get he's a petty, narrow-minded man-child with anger issues because he's not dealt. He needs to, go. He needs to move into a therapist's office Aspie Third Eye says he's a terrible husband and just a petty human overall. Yeah. Don Gubb says he was swayed by a honeypot. No, I think he's just really that awful. It's his work and his ego, and I'm not getting. He's just rotten. Dr. Storm says their meeting in Russia is just too suspicious to me. But the people who went to, are you talking about the 4th of July thing back in 2018? Because Cawthorne wasn't a part of that, and a lot of even the people who were there, a lot of them aren't even in Congress anymore. So I don't know. Jolie S. said, I just read an article that interviewed the wife. She said she didn't want to be married to someone in politics. She didn't want to be married to him in politics. Yeah. Aditya is saying there were rumors of Melania leaving Trump after he lost the election. Wonder what changed her mind. The contract? The contract. Their renegotiated prenup. The contract. 137. Before we get to that, let me add in one other question, because someone up here had a really good question. Where was it? Linda Kingsley is asking, is Biden going to fold? So we're going back to the Biden-Putin. Is Biden going to fold? And we are at 137.30. 137.30. There we go. So Putin is trying to push Biden's buttons. We know that. Well, if we don't invade, are you going to lift the sanctions that are there? Because otherwise, what's the point? Why should we listen to you? If we do this, we'll get more sanctions. We already have sanctions. Blah, 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 blah. So is Biden going to fold? Oh, Linda Kingsley, thank you. 10 of Pentacles. Money. 5 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, 10 of Wands. It feels like they're going to negotiate some other stuff that isn't going to be like selling oil or some smaller border disputes that aren't as big a deal. That's what it feels like. But Putin also knows that, like with any successful salesperson, the adage is the first no doesn't count. When it comes to sales, I'm not talking about anything really horrible. I'm just talking about in sales. It's said that the first no just means they don't understand what a great offer you're offering them. That's feels like you get somebody to say yes on something small, you're more likely to get them to say yes on something bigger. Plus, he's trying to call their bluff. He's trying to work a couple different angles here at the same time. So, but I'm not getting Biden folding. I get there are really good people around Biden who are listening in, who are right there, and who were just like shaking, like, and Biden's like watching them and listening to his advisors. Linda Kingsley says, if Putin removes troops, I think some of the sanctions may be lifted. If Putin sanctions lifted. Queen of Swords. Okay, that's a possibility that we're in the right area. Five of Cups, Temperance, Magician. But he's lying about it. Like when he said he's removing 10,000 troops, and in reality, he just rearranged them. His ego. That's the thing. Putin isn't. He could be a lot more successful than he is, but he's got this. He'd have to pull back, and he wants it. He wants it, the precious. He wants the USSR back. He wants control of all those lands, and it's just like, dude, decaf, get a hobby. You have $1 billion house. Go hang out at your house. What the heck is wrong with you? There's a lot wrong with him. So, Aditya is saying, unfortunately, I think Russia is almost immune to sanctions at this point. Well, they're really only sanctioning the oligarchs, or they're trying to only sanction the oligarchs and Putin himself. It is possible to sanction the Russian people. Don't want to go there, but it's a mess. Linda Kingsley says his hate for us is blinding him. His want for power and control. All right, 142.30. This is interesting, from Jeff Sitzman. 142.30. Jeff Sitzman wants to know, on the other side, is Robert E. Lee still a racist? Well, let's see. Because on the one hand, once souls reach the other side, or go back to the other side, they get a bigger perspective and what have you. But not always. And there are some people who hold on to their beliefs on everybody should be this religion, everybody should believe this. You don't have to. It's not like everybody crosses over and suddenly they've reached enlightenment. Sometimes it takes a long time for the scales to fall away from their eyes. So, Robert E. Lee. Are you still a racist? I'm getting such cold air, cold energy right here. Justice. Not necessarily a great card to get. And I'm trying to draw down as much divine energy and as much protection as possible. Wow. Ice cold. I know, the snow and the what have you, and it's 36 degrees Fahrenheit here in Chicago, but let's just say we're not tapping into George Harrison here. 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, King of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups. Okay, we're done here. Thank you for your time. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye. Be gone. Be gone. Cold as ice. Gina says, I don't think he's had the trickle charge long enough. Yeah. C. Trino says he is not good energy, never has been. Sandy Miller says, wow, those cards. Yeah. For those of you who are new around here, I get getting very clear for a long time that if you are of a very low vibration, Epstein, these kind of people, when your soul leaves your physical body, your vessel, if your vibration level is really low, really bad, you actually kind of pop out of your body, but then you kind of drop down to this there's the divine, which is really, really high vibration. And then angels and the levels kind of work their way down to where we get to here. And then from here down, it just gets darker and more compact and heavier. And so some of these souls, when they leave their human bodies, they go down into these dark, heavily compacted energetic levels. But it doesn't mean they're gone forever, because we are all connected. And what I get when these people drop down to those levels, they're still in what I call a trickle charge. They still have that connection through their crown chakras up to their higher self and the divine and what have you. So there's this little bit of energy that's just trickling down to them, and it like a battery, it builds up and builds up until suddenly they have enough energy that it's like the whole system just like reboots, and they realize what they've done, and the whole thing, and then they can ascend. But until then, and personally, when people start talking about demons and devils and Satan and all of this, I don't get that. I get these people on these lower levels, they're astral gunk, and because they need, they're parasites, so they need low vibration to survive. So they try to scare us. And if I mentally try to look at any of them, it's like after a while they start like turning into these monstrous things, not for any other reason than they want to scare us. We're the nearest good food source that they can use. And so they want to scare us because our fear and all of this, it feeds them. So I'll say to myself, it'll be okay. Susan Ailes is saying Robert E. Lee is in the bargain basement. Yeah. And this is the horrible stuff he did. He feels justified. Horrible, full of himself, horrible, and disappointed. This card of disappointed he couldn't knock all those cups down. It's still, his energy's still. Electra Storm says, so how come George Washington figured it out but not Robert E. Lee? George Washington was his own cat. Until I started doing this, I really didn't quite understand what the whole thing with George Washington was. But since I started doing this, my understanding, I could be wrong, but my understanding of George Washington was, it's like he inherited slaves, but I can't remember. Did he get rid of them, or he tried to, something like that? I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and look. But he was not he did not, I'm not saying he wasn't racist. I'm saying he had a moral code that Robert E. Lee just didn't have. Rasslin Reed says Civil War still keeps him like that. He's focused on the Civil War still. Thank you, Marpy. Thank you. Electra Storm says he chased one when she escaped him. He's not noble at all. Okay. I'm not saying I'm the world's biggest fan of this guy. The difference with George Washington, the reason I don't speak badly of him is just because he is more willing to say I was wrong. And he doesn't say I was wrong, at least what I pick up. He doesn't say I was wrong in a sense of, see, I've admitted what I've done, therefore you should forgive me. And, you know, like I'm manipulating you to get over it and I can do my thing. No, it's like he'll stand there and it's like there's a big stain. And he's just standing there and he's just wearing it. And he's not like, oh, forgive me. He's just like, these are my failings. These are the things I did wrong. I was wrong. And I will stand here in my shame. And I do not expect forgiveness. Because I was wrong. That's the difference. That's why I don't give him as much garbage as I do some of the others. Gina says he freed them in his will. And I think he regrets. I think he has regrets, and he's not trying to run from them. That's what I pick up. Nanette Hardy is saying it's about your heart's intent. Yeah, I think so too. Rassin Reed says, do you think people on Earth who wish for a civil war still keep him in a state like that? Power his rage, perhaps? I don't want to touch his energy again, but I'll see if I can ask my guides. I sound like a crazy person when I talk about my guides, but I'll ask my guides. Oh, he's so awful. Judgment, Queen of Wands, Six of Swords. No, he's perfectly content in his grossness, in wallowing in his grossness that he thinks is justified. Electra Storm saying, I would love for you to do a reading on Thomas Jefferson one day. I have. I did the first 15, 16 presidents, U.S. presidents. If you go back on the channel, I made covers with I worked my way through the different presidents one a day. So yeah. Yeah, that's the difference. Is it you call in George Washington and he's not a parasite. He's not, I don't get cold. I don't and he just stands there. And he has a moral core that he has really embraced now that he's on the other side. He had a moral core while he was here, but it was flawed. And he will be the first person to say that. And he does not expect forgiveness. He believes what he did was so heinous, and he will carry the pain and stain of that for all eternity. And he believes he deserves it. I don't think that everyone should go unforgiven, but he is also not the life of the party. And he wishes I'd stop saying that. But that's what I get. And he was offered to be made king. And he pounded the table to say no. you will not give me that power. And King George apparently at the time said if George Washington turns down his power to be king, he was a greater man than I, or something like that. He was. So, Rustin reads Honest Abe. Yeah, read on him too. Linda Kingsley says he will forgive himself sometime. Yes and no. Anyway, but thank you so much for everything. That's going to do it for me for today. I do apologize again for running so late today. It was just, I had to take this opportunity. I had to take the opportunity to get this mini fridge, one up and one down the stairs, and all of this stuff while I had an opportunity, because I couldn't do it myself. So it was last minute, out of the blue, I had this opportunity, so I had to take it. But I ended up being late here, and I apologize. I really do. I do feel bad. All right, but I will be back here today. I'll be over on the Book Art Media channel at 4 o'clock Central Time in the U.S. It is currently 2:21 here in Chicago. At 4 o'clock, I'll be over at Book Art Media doing creative sprints, and then I will be right back here tomorrow at noon, and I will be here at noon. All right, hang in there. You are never alone, never truly alone. There are good days ahead. And with all this heavy stuff we were talking about today, if you end up seeing or hearing a lot of heavy conversations today, it is because this morning Mercury was conjunct Pluto. So you've got Mercury, Venus, and Pluto all near each other. All right. Hang in there. And thank you again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, take care.